It's our first NFL Sunday, and I'm going to be taking you through my best bets for Panthers-Browns. Now, I'm not saying it's the two best teams in the league, but this game is projected to be very competitive, right? You can see that there's not much juice in either direction. A lot of sportsbooks have the Panthers as slight favorites. You can see DraftKings is pricing the Panthers as minus 115, the Browns as minus 105, but there aren't even many sportsbooks giving you plus money on the Browns, right? So this game is projected to be very close. And again, browsing odds for any sport on OddsJam is completely free. You always want to make sure you're getting the best line in your location, right? So you can switch your state. It should auto-detect. And you always want to make sure for money lines, for props, you're getting a decent price. Because I promise you, if you don't learn anything from this channel, we try to help sports bettors, help them with the strategy, cut through the BS, is if you're placing bets at minus 116, on FanDuel, when another sportsbook in your location is giving you minus 106, you're never going to make money because you're getting terrible prices, right? You're kind of like an investor who has to buy everything at twice the price. You're just at such a disadvantage if you're not getting good prices, which is why it's critical to, browse odds and ensure you're getting a great price. But anyways, what you may notice is like, wow, this Betfair exchange, they're giving us the best odds on both the Panthers and the Browns, right? So you can see the Browns are very small underdogs on the Betfair exchange. Plus 104, minus 106. So if we go ahead and we kind of like throw that into a no-vig odds calculator, the Browns are plus 104, the Panthers are minus 106. You can see that according to betting markets currently, the Betfair exchange, things like that, the Panthers are roughly 51.2% to win this game, right? That is what trading and sports bettors are implying. So the millions of dollars being bet on the NFL, on NFL money lines for this game, are implying that the Panthers are 51.2% to win this game, right? Sportsbooks and betting markets, they imply win probabilities through their odds, right? If the Panthers were, let's say, minus 400 favorites and the Browns were plus 300 underdogs, then the market is implying the Panthers are 76% to win, right? So just like kind of the stock market, sports betting money lines are supply and demand, right? If a bunch of people come in and start hammering the Panthers at minus 106, the market will move, right? They'll go to minus 116. So the market's always dynamic. It's moving around due to supply and demand, information, stuff like that. But long story short, what's very fascinating about the Betfair exchange is as you get closer to game time, it becomes very active, right? There's a lot more volume on the exchange. So there's there's a lot of trading, there's a lot of betting on the exchange, and it's a good source of information. So even if you can't bet on it, it's interesting to look at because you can think about it this way, right? There's a bunch of people betting on the exchanges who are getting plus 104 on the Browns, right? There's thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars being bet on the Browns plus 104 within the past few hours. So why on earth would you want to bet minus 110 on Caesars when hundreds of thousands of dollars are being bet on the Betfair exchange on the Browns at plus 104? It doesn't make sense, right? So it's kind of a useful source of information for sharp sports bettors, which is why we include it in OddsJam. Because again, the whole goal of this YouTube channel, unlike other channels, is to really help you understand the data, the markets, things like that. And you need to look at the whole betting market as a whole when you're placing your bets. But anyways, what we can look at next is just kind of the point spread. Unsurprisingly, the point spread is, the Panthers minus 1, minus 1.5. Again, OddsJam, completely free to browse all these odds, so you can check out any markets you want to bet on. But what I actually have in this video is I'm going to be taking you through a player prop. So it's currently the highest profit margin player prop on OddsJam. It's a positive EV bet. And again, the way that OddsJam works is pretty simple, right? OddsJam has millions of odds kind of updating in real time on the website, right? The Betfair exchange, Betfred, all these sports books that may or may not be in your location. So what OddsJam does is it just takes all these odds and looks for discrepancies. So one of the tools that kind of looks for discrepancies is the positive EV betting tool. So what this tool alerts you to is just big line discrepancies. Where is a sportsbook way off from the rest of the market, particularly the sharp bookmakers such as BetOnline and Pinnacle? So what you'll notice is right here, the highest profit margin bet is Jacoby Brissett over 10.5 rushing yards at plus 105 on PointsBet. So why do we like this bet? Now what you'll notice is, hey, no sportsbook is giving us odds better than minus 109. So that gives us, as a sports bettor, higher confidence that this bet is good. Because all these bookmakers price things independently, you can kind of look at the betting market as a whole, treating each sportsbook as an independent data point in terms of what should the line be set at. What is the true price of a bet? So what you'll notice is, hey, no sportsbook's giving us better than minus 109. We're getting plus 105. That kind of makes me feel good as a sports bettor when I'm placing a bet, because there's a lot of value on that bet. And value means profit margin in the long run. So the whole goal of the positive EV tool is you're never going to win every bet. Nobody can make you win every bet. People will claim to. That's not how it works, right? This is not a tout service. The way that OddsJam works is it scans the market and it shows you bets that have a mathematical profit margin, 4.46%. So in other words, if you bet $100 on this, your bet would have $4.46 in EV, in profit margin. Doesn't mean the bet's going to win, but it means placing bets like this in the long run will make money. It's kind of the same reason, people invest in the stock market, because they believe it'll go up over time. It doesn't go up every day, but over the course of the past 100 years, the stock market has gone up 8% a year on average. So you invest in the stock market not because every day it goes up, but because over the course of the long run, you're going to make money. And it's the same thing with positive EV betting. You have to be, ready for a little bit of variance, but you're guaranteed to win in the long run after you place a large sample size of bets. You just need to place a lot of positive EV bets. So what you'll notice here is hey, BetOnline, which is arguably one of the sharpest offshore sports books along with Pinnacle, they both have Jacoby Brissett over 10.5 rushing yards favored. You can see Pinnacle is pricing this at minus 122 on the over, and they're pricing the under at minus 108. So if you throw that into a no-vig odds calculator, the true price for Jacoby Brissett over 10.5 rushing yards, according to Pinnacle, the sharpest sports book, is going to be minus 106. And we're getting plus 105 on PointsBet. So I bet it. Right? We're getting a ton of value. We're getting odds above the fair price or the true price once you remove the vig, remove the juice, which is why this bet is positive EV or why this bet has a positive profit margin. So I locked in this bet. Unfortunately, I tried to bet, a lot more, and they said bet placed with reduced wager, so they only gave me $100. But that's, kind of part of the game as a sports bettor. So this is kind of how the math works. I'm on Jacoby Brissett, over 10.5 rushing yards. The bet has a 4.46% profit margin according to OddsJam, 4.46%. So the profit margin of our bet in dollars is $4.46, right? So this bet is worth $4.46. And you can kind of see I like to share this sheet as well, which just kind of shows you okay, how many bets do you have to place a day? And this will be in the description to reach your profit goals. So for example, if you're placing bets with an average, EV percentage, let's say of 4%, how many bets do you have to place a day if you're betting $75 on everything to earn $1,500 a month? And in this case, it would be 16 bets a day, assuming 30 days in a month, right? So you have a 4% profit margin, $75 bet size. Each of your bets has $3 in profit margin. So you have to place 500 bets per month, 16 bets per day. It doesn't take that long. All you literally have to do is hit refresh and kind of go down the page and place all these bets. And again, out of all of the sports books, the millions of odds kind of in the betting market moving around, there's typically not that many sharp bets available. You can see on OddsJam right now, there's only 10 or so. So OddsJam literally takes the millions of odds in the market, and then hand selects what are those few bets where the sports bettor actually has enough profit margin to outweigh the vig, outweigh the juice, right? Because a sports book is slipping up so badly that they're giving you such a good price, which is kind of what you see with this Jacoby Brissett over 10.5 rushing yards. Anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. Let's make money.